Welcome back, or maybe welcome to something new. If you've been here for a while, you've probably noticed this podcast has kind of changed a couple times. I started with this idea, a simple one that I just wanted to talk about tonal. Then somewhere along the way, I started trying to make it into what I thought a podcast should be: more informative, more polished, more planned, more valuable. And I started chasing topics instead of conversations. And honestly, I hit a wall. Not because I didn't love creating, but because I stopped sounding like myself. So I pulled back. And in that space, I asked myself, what do I actually want this podcast to feel like? And the answer came back pretty quickly, believe it or not. I was like, I want this to feel like we are sitting on the floor after a workout and just talking. I want this to feel like voice notes with friends, that chat group that you have on social media. I want this to feel like being in the tonal community, excited, curious, laughing, celebrating all the milestones, talking, training, talking about life. And yes, occasionally we will talk about sourdough for absolutely no reason. So here we are. Strength in Numbers has always been a screen name for many, many years on different platforms and on Tonal now. But I kind of realized I don't want to hide behind a screen name anymore. It's time for you guys to sit down with Katie, not, now that I'm a PT, but not like Coach Katie coaching you, not an expert, because I certainly don't know everything. And not that I have all the answers, Katie, just me, a member, someone figuring it out in real time. And if you're listening because you are figuring things out too, you're in the right place. I think sometimes we start something because we love it, right? And then we slowly start measuring ourselves against everyone else doing the same thing. And, if you listen to enough podcasts, you suddenly you think, who should I be interviewing? I need more structure, right? Or I need to be teaching something. Or I need this to solve a problem like every single episode. Meanwhile, I just wanted to talk whether your deadlift PR counted if your dog interrupted your set, because how epic is that? I forgot that people connect with people, not perfection. This revamp is definitely not me quitting. It's actually me coming back to why I started, because fitness doesn't always need another expert. Sometimes it just needs another person saying, "Hey, same." I've never wanted this to be like a place where I felt preachy or judgy or, acting like I know everything, because I'm definitely not. I'm not here to tell you how to train. I'm here to talk about training while actively forgetting which day of the program I'm in, because for real, perimenopause hits. I want to talk about excitement, new features, the community, the wins, the days when you absolutely do not want to train and somehow you hit that start button anyway. I want to talk about the reality that maybe the magic of tonal just isn't building muscle. I know, shocker. I just said that. Maybe it's realizing you can become somebody new, the best version of you, the person that you always wanted to be, and bringing her to life. Maybe it's proving to yourself, oh, I actually do hard things, and that's fucking awesome. Also, if your rest timer becomes scrolling time, we are not discussing that today. I'm guilty of that sometimes. But one thing I realized is I've been weirdly scared to ask people to come on to podcasts. I have this fear of bugging people, and it's absolutely awful. And I think it's from my history, within my family, and, just like previous encounters where I kind of got that reception that I was bugging people. And I hate that feeling, because we all have life, right? We all have things going on in life. Everybody is busy. And I know that sounds ridiculous when I say that out loud, but I kept thinking, what if they say no? That whole bothering people thing, or who would want to do this? Right. And then one day I literally thought, Katie, it's really not that serious. People say yes, people say no. Life continues. Honestly, the people that I want to be on here aren't on here because I don't want them on here because they're famous or they're going to give me clout or because it's like clickbait. None of that stuff. It's because I find them interesting and I'm intrigued by them. And the brain food that they offer is like 5-course meal. I want members. I want to interview people doing cool stuff, people navigating life, people showing up. I think there's something really powerful about hearing regular people talk about extraordinary consistency. So maybe this podcast becomes more conversations and less pressure. I honestly just want it to be, tell me your story. So I'm 44. If I have learned anything, it's that your body eventually starts updating software without you knowing it. One day, your recovery, great. Energy, great. The next day, who moved all my hormones? I'm navigating training through perimenopause, endometriosis now, life, and trying to understand what actually works now, not 10 years ago, now. And, maybe some days I crush a workout and maybe some days I eat sourdough and call stretching enough. But I want to talk about all of that because I know I'm not the only woman trying to figure all this out. Like, how much protein? Do I need carbs? Yes, you need carbs. Why am I hot? Why am I tired? Why does my hip suddenly hurt? Why is pain radiating down my leg? What is going on? Why am I waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning? And I'll be honest, I do not have all the answers. But you know what I do have? I have some really funny stories. And hopefully we will laugh through them all. So what I want this podcast to be now, it's just training. It's food. It's tonal. It's opinions. It's laughing. It's community. It's stories. It's trying new things. It's changing your mind. It's celebrating progress. It's remembering that life doesn't pause until conditions are perfect. Life does not pause until conditions are perfect. This is not a self-improvement podcast. I truly thought that was the direction I wanted to go. But this is a podcast of keep showing up. This is, hey, come sit down. Tell me what's going on. Tell me what you're training for. Tell me what you're baking. Tell me what's hard. Tell me what's exciting. And let's figure it out together. So if you've been here since the beginning, I truly thank you. And if this is your first podcast, listening, hey, hello. I am always strength in numbers. It will always mean especially something special to me. But now it kind of just feels like a screen name and more like a reminder we're not doing things alone. So grab your coffee, grab your protein, grab your sourdough starter because we're going to be making lots of bread. Go hit your workout or don't, just move a little, laugh a lot. And come back to the next episode because it's time to sit down with Katie and I will see you next time.